Hey, Corby here from Boise Turnkey Properties. I am back at the illustrious Boise Turnkey Properties World Headquarters, and I'm in the middle of a few rehabs for clients of mine. Some of them are pretty thorough, like down to the exterior studs rehabs. And it got me thinking about a bunch of the jobs that I've done in the past, both of my own and for my clients. And there was this recurring theme of problems that I had had on the first few that I did, and with new clients that I'm working for and with that they're having trouble with too. And so thought I'd make a video to tell you guys what I think the three biggest mistakes that new investors make on their rehabs. Hopefully keep you from doing those. But the ironic thing is a lot of people, even though they know they're fairly common sense, will probably still make the same mistakes. These are lessons that sometimes you just got to learn on your own. But that being said, here are my three biggest mistakes that new rehabbers make on their projects. Number one is insisting on doing all the work yourself. If you drummed up a great deal where there's lots of margin, that time that you spend painting, drywalling, fixing the floors, laying tile, whatever it may be, is probably better spent finding your next deal. I'm not saying you shouldn't work on those houses at all. I think it's great experience. Knowing how difficult a job might be helps you to negotiate in the future with contractors that you're working with, but you should not be doing an entire house by yourself, especially if it's a big job. You should be hiring a qualified professional to come in and knock it out quickly for you. Time is of the essence, and your time is very valuable. So having a professional in there is definitely the way to go. Number two, along those same lines, is hiring the cheapest contractor you can find. I've done this before, and probably everybody who's done a rehab at some point has been swindled by a low-price contractor that was smooth. They sold you in the right way, and they never showed up for the job, or they came over and did a horrific job. The low price contractors are never the way to go. You need to find yourself a reasonably priced contractor who does what they say they're going to do, and you build a relationship with them. You can do that in a lot of ways, but the best thing to do is go to a real estate investors meeting in your area and start talking to people about contractors they use. And even before you have a rehab job, call those contractors and just tell them that you've got some work coming up, and start building some rapport and asking them questions and see who you get good vibes from. And then when you actually have a job for them to come out and bid, put some effort into developing that relationship and getting a vibe for how they do. If it's somebody that you don't know or has not worked with someone that you know that you can get a solid reference from, absolutely do not pay them up front for anything. If you're getting good vibes from them but you don't have a good reference, then work something out where they come in and work for a day or two and you buy all the materials for them so that they're in the house. But I would not hand over money to a contractor I didn't know for any reason. The third, and this one happens all the time, I talk to clients about this all the time, and especially with new rehabbers, is wanting to save money on skipping permits. Say what you will about the permitting process or the entities that issue permits, but if you are doing work that requires a permit in a house, get the permit for a couple reasons. One, you need to work with contractors who know what they're doing. And if you are working with a handyman to do electrical work that requires a permit, you need to have somebody who knows what they're doing. Same thing with plumbing, same thing with HVAC. You can get yourself into a rabbit hole where you have created a bigger problem. So working with licensed contractors who are pulling those permits will make the process faster. In the long run, it will be cheaper, and you'll know that it is done correctly. Second reason you want to get permits is if you're doing this, chances are at some point in the future, you are either going to want to sell that property or leverage the property. If you have not pulled the permits, you are not going to be able to get value out of that property that you anticipated. So you need to pull the permit so that when you go to leverage it or sell it, when it appraises for the dollar amount that it should. If you've added square footage or a bedroom or redone the wiring and not had a permit, you will not get an appraisal that reflects actual value. And that is of the utmost importance. That's the number one thing in this rehabbing game, is making sure that you're getting the most value you can. And without permits, you won't. I have never met anyone who skipped permits and was glad later. So get your permits, find yourself a deal, and let me know how I can help you knock out a couple rehabs. Good luck out there.